picked his shot, found his opening, came straight up the middle, and landed a devastating right hand.
Beginning of round 6. First time as a professional Tyson's ever been in this round. Ferguson trying to jab.
Every great champion has to know how to finish an opponent when he has him hurt. Jesse Ferguson is hurt. Let's see how Mike Tyson does to take him out.
The left hook did some damage.
Jesse Ferguson not taking the break, holding on to Tyson's left hand. He's just going to hold until Rivera has to absolutely pry them apart. It's not going to be enough for Rivera to say break. He's going to have to get in there and force him apart.
Another left. Delivered in close quarters.
See, Ferguson just is not listening to Rivera at all. He's just going to continue to hold until he just physically forces him out.
Can't say I blame him.
The only thing Rivera can do is what he just did. Give him a warning. And take points away if he continues to do it. Tyson's making a mistake by letting himself get this close to Ferguson. He must maintain a little bit of distance so that he's going to take a point. He's disqualifying him. He disqualified Jesse Ferguson for clinching and refusing to break when ordered. He had warned him earlier in this round. Jesse Ferguson refused to break. The referee, Louis Rivera, disqualified him. And ironically, that breaks Mike Tyson's KO string. That will go down in the books as a win disqualification. It will not be his 18th straight knockout.
One of the dubious distinctions of the year. Jesse Ferguson becomes the first of Mike Tyson's 18 professional opponents not to suffer a knockout. And he did it by almost forcing the referee, Luis Rivera, to disqualify him. 1 minute and 19 seconds of the 6th round. And Mike Tyson's string goes to 18-0, and you saw the explosive punching power, which has made him the talk of the heavyweight division. Let's bring in Mike Tyson right now at this moment. And you can see there the young man who has succeeded once again. Mike, you had to go as far as the 6th round, farther than you have been before as a professional. Were there some moments of frustration during the fight for you?
Because, you know, I never get frustrated because I know we have a 10-round limit. And the crop of heavyweights nowadays having a little difficulty going the full 10 rounds. And the way they have it planned in their mind to beat me is to jab, pot shot, and grab me. But it's 10 rounds, and eventually I'm going to catch them.
Did you approach this fight with a little bit more respect for Ferguson physically, the left hook, than you might have brought into your previous bouts?
Not at all. I was just a little leery because of the lack of experience, but I was surely comfortable when the fight was over. When I came out the ring, I was going to be the winner.
Okay, Alex, we saw once again a sensational performance by Mike Tyson, breaking Jesse Ferguson's nose. What do you have to ask the young man?
Well, I'm just impressed, Michael, that you don't appear winded at all, that you appear to keep your poise, you paced yourself, and you showed that those critics who say, A, that you may have chin problems, and B, you may have stamina problems, you answered those critics to an extent today against a quality opponent.
Well, only thing, I can't change any opinions. I just have to continue fighting and have to change the opinions on themselves. After seeing this performance, perhaps they still have doubts. But eventually, as I go successfully defeating all the contenders and perhaps the champion in the nearby future, then I will have to quiet all doubt. But then still we have a little doubters then.
More of the Mike Tyson engine of destruction rolling on. Next up, another frightening assault as journeyman Steve Zosky becomes roadkill.
With 30 seconds to go, and there is a strong shot. And round number 1 is underway. Out comes Tyson, as he always does, pressing straight forward, doesn't wear a robe into the ring, doesn't wear his socks, just puts on the shoes, the trunks, and the gloves, and he's ready to go to war. He's already shaken Zosky up with the first shot of the fight, and he almost looked disgusted that Zosky looked ready to fall. What a body shot with the left hand by the converted southpaw Mike Tyson, who, unlike many southpaws, can crush you with either hand. His left hook, of course, his best punch, but his right hand right behind that. His jab is just an awesome weapon, but his body punching, he's one of the most awesome body punching heavyweights I've seen in years. 19-year-old Mike Tyson out of the Catskills, New York. Turned professional on March 6, 1985. And here it is just over 1 year later. He is now in his 19th professional fight. Has stopped all his opponents. Steve Zalski, though, promised, he said he wasn't afraid of Mike Tyson, that he'd be out there swinging with Tyson, boxing with Tyson. He has been in there with some real tough opponents. One of them, world cruiserweight champion by the IBF, Leroy Murphy, beat him on a 10-round decision and hit him with his best shots and couldn't take him off his feet. He's also been in there with Scott Frank, Mike Perkins, Benny Canosi, but he's never been in there with Mike Tyson. There's no question Tyson can punch. And his stamina, I think that was tested against Jesse Ferguson back in February of this year up in Albany. He went 6 hard rounds, stopping Ferguson in that 6th round. Tyson just picking his shots now, content to hit Zalski just about anywhere he can. Zalski reddened underneath the left eye. There's about 1 minute remaining here in the opening round. The referee, the veteran Arthur Mercati. Solid right hand to the body by Tyson. Tyson looking to measure his man with body shots. Zalski moving, trying to keep Tyson off balance. But the best thing Zalski could do is not stand there and just to get in the center of this 18-foot ring and keep moving. Zalski with a solid right hand off the head of Tyson. Some people still question his ability to take a punch, but so far in his 1 year as a professional, he's never been down, he's never been hurt, he's never been rattled, shaken up. And I've seen him through the Empire Games, the Olympic trials. He obviously, I'd say right now, has as good a chin as any heavyweight in the division now. There's about 15 seconds to go in the opening round, and that's an accomplishment right there for Steve Zalski, who many said would not even survive the first round, although it's not over. And we're heading to the bell. Steve Zalski, who's actually having, I can't believe he's having his fun in there, but he looked up at the round card girl and smiled. After taking a beating in round 1, he somehow found it in himself to smile at the round card girl. That's called a sense of humor. And we're getting set for round number 2. Arthur Mercati says, okay, guys, wait in your corner. There's the bell. And Mercati held up the proceedings for a moment while the round card girl was still stepping down. Tyson comes out, as always, trying to make every shot count. Every one is a grenade. In this building, in 1976, took place the Joe Frazier, George Foreman rematch. The results just about the same as their first fight, with Foreman winning on a TKO. Zalski doing what he can to survive, keeping those hands high. He's sacrificing the body by protecting the head every time he puts his hands up high. Tyson moves in and smacks it. That time was a short left hook to the head. Zalski took it well. His legs, though, are doing a Mr. Bojangles. He's in trouble against the ropes. And that's one place you don't want to be against the slugger, young Mike Tyson, who has 12 first-round knockouts to his credit. Today, he weighed in at 220.5 pounds. Zalski was 210. A swelling around the left eye of Steve Zalski, who is now taking the best Tyson has to offer. And you know that this guy is going to feel it after the fight. But unlike many of Tyson's opponents who come to grab and wrestle and just try to survive, Zalski is in there, as we say, like a man, taking his lumps. And I do mean his lumps. He is getting red everywhere Tyson is hitting him. He's red on the left side from the body shots. He's red on the right side. His face is reddened. His left eye is swollen. Tyson standing directly in front of Zalski. There, bends down with a left hook to the body, right hand to the body. Zalski doing an admirable job throwing back. Catches Tyson with 2 right hands coming in and a left hook. blows. Zalski rocked back on his heels, but still comes back. The crowd can do nothing but applaud this young man from Brockton, Massachusetts tonight, because he has come to fight. The man some say may be one day put up there with the greats. Mike Tyson. There's about 30 seconds to go in the second round. The first round was all Tyson as he backed up Zalski, but Zalski hung in there just as you see him doing this round. The scoring here in New York, done on a round system. There's no standing 8 count. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect, and there's no saving by the bell except in the last round. And it looks like Zalski will get through another one. And I think the crowd is applauding the courage of Steve Zalski as much as they're applauding the efforts of Mike Tyson. And now the crowd roaring even more, and it's not for Tyson, it's not for Zalski. It's for lovely Julie in red. Mike Tyson may have 18 knockouts, but lovely Julie is a knockout herself.
All right, yeah, ringside Mike Tyson, and that was ringside Mike Tyson. There's a ring card girl there, Bert. Where did that come from?
Years ago, Brian, they used to have a little man walk around, usually for
A little man.
A little man.
Not as fun back then. A little man. Okay.
Yes, for film purposes, if they were filming it, they would hold up the round.
Right.
The first time I remember ring card girls was at Caesar's Palace, and beautiful girls all dressed up as Egyptian, if you will, concubines.
If you will, yeah.
Yes, who were holding up ring cards that were in Roman numerals, so half of us didn't know what the hell it said. And I remember sitting once next to Jim Murray, the sainted writer for the Los Angeles Times, who said, "Why is it every time a ring card girl goes by, I never know what round it is?"
That's very good. But recent history, that's interesting. So the 70s we're talking about late 70s.
Yes, because Caesars doesn't really start big fights till 78. But before that, I have no recollection of a ring card girl, just ring card guys.
All right.
And they weren't as good looking.
We'll take your word for it, Bert. We're ringside Mike Tyson. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, Tyson versus Steve Zalski, March of 1986.
So after 2 rounds, Mike Tyson has taken them both against Steve Zalski, but you've got to really commend Zalski for the job he's put up tonight. He has taken a beating through 2 rounds against the slugger from Catskill, New York. Trained and honed by the late great Customato, now trained by Kevin Rooney. Tyson made his network debut in February on ABC. He took on rated contender Jesse Ferguson. Ferguson was more or less unwilling to fight that night and did a lot of clinching and holding. And finally, in the 6th round, the referee called him a TKO loser when he refused to break from a clinch for about the 5th or 6th time during the night. A packed crowd up at Rensselaer's Fieldhouse in Troy, New York witnessed that fight. Zalski bounces a right hand off the head of Mike Tyson, who's not exactly thinking defense in there now. Some more awesome shots from Tyson. Tyson, one of the most magnificent infighters I've seen in years. Probably the best heavyweight on the inside was Smoking Joe Frazier. Tyson may be every bit as good, and possibly more so because his right hand, I believe, is better than Joe Frazier's. Frazier, like Tyson, a converted southpaw. But as I said earlier, unlike many converted southpaws, Jerry Cooney included, many of those converted southpaws do not have any power in the right hand. Tyson is not one of them. Tyson just committed to body work, really not looking for the head at all, looking to take this man out by chopping down the tree, working that refrigerator. Solid right hand to the body by Mike Tyson, who looks to be just getting some real heavy live sparring in there. Got Zalski in big trouble against the rope, but Tyson lays back because Tyson is an outstanding finisher. I think he's just trying different things in there tonight. The one thing I don't like about that, if you're working on certain things, you risk getting head-butted or maybe taking a thumb in the eye, except not tonight, take a thumb in his glove. There's a solid right uppercut, and I don't know what's keeping Steve Zalski on his feet. He said he was most proud of the fact that he's never been off his feet before, and now he switches for a moment to the southpaw stance and tries to rock 2 right hooks off Tyson's head. With about 20 seconds to go, and there is a solid shot. If Zalski stayed up after that one, I don't know. Doesn't look like he'll beat the count. The count is 8, 9, 10, and this one's over. Arthur McKenney says you did not beat the count, and indeed he did not. A third-round knockout, not TKO, but third-round knockout for Mike Tyson, who ups his record to 19-0 with 19 knockouts, more than a sparring session tonight, but not much more. As Steve Zalski just tried, and Tyson knew it, respected him, and tried not to hurt him, and finally took him out of there. It was more of an accumulation of punches, but then that final blow put him down. He started to get to his feet at 8, and as he climbed to his feet, it was already the count of 10 from referee Arthur McKenney, and that gave Mike Tyson victory number 19. And managers Bill Caton and Jimmy Jacobs say they'll be fighting this young man once every other week for the next year, building his record to somewhere around 40-0, and then when he's 20 years old, send him up against one of the heavyweight champions, looking to make Mike Tyson the youngest heavyweight champion in history. Floyd Patterson did it when he was 21 years old, and Caton and Jacobs feel Tyson can do it before that time. And indeed, the way he's been looking so far in his career, who's to say anybody can stop him? It's getting to be a habit. Mike Tyson now 19-0, 19 knockouts. What do you say about your opponent tonight? He was game.
Well, he was a game opponent, and I have to give him a lot of credit for staying in and taking some good punches. And for myself, I rate myself, I didn't like my performance. I have a lot of personal problems that I'm just getting over. But I'm gonna do all to the best ability to be ready for the 29th with James Tillis.
James Tillis is a very quick starter. That's why they call him quick. He's got fast hands, maybe the fastest hands in the heavyweight division. He has dropped Carl Williams in the first round. He's given Tyrell Biggs some trouble in the first round. What do you expect from Quick?
Well, I expect a good fight, but as always, I expect to be victorious at the end of the fight.
It must have felt good to have a man in front of you tonight who was willing to fight with you, not like Jesse Ferguson and Mike Jamison, who just wanted to hold on to you and wrestle.
Well, with an opponent like that, you're right, it's to my advantage, because I could always afford, even though it's not necessary, I could always afford to lose some rounds, but I always have the confidence to know that I'm going to catch up with him, because he's always there and he's not stationary enough.
Kevin Rooney, rate his performance tonight.
C.
How about you rate your performance?
I'm always giving myself a 0. I'm never impressed.
Have you given yourself an A yet?
Never. Perhaps never will.
Probably never will. That's perfection. That's what we're striving for.
You're going to be fighting every other week. There's a lot of people who say that's good, that's bad. I'm one who thinks it's absolutely fantastic. What is your opinion of going as much as you can?
Well, I have a hectic schedule. I can't, and I don't think I should have. That's the point of being famous. You have to give up a lot of things and sacrifice, and I can't live like a 19-year-old,
He indeed is only 19 years old, and he's 19-0 with 19 knockouts. Mike Tyson on his way to the heavyweight championship of the world.
Next up, Kid Dynamite gets tested by James Quick Tillis. A bump on the road to the heavyweight championship.
Tillis is making a mistake of trying to trade with Mike Tyson. He should be moving off the ropes. Instead, he got into a little bit of macho there, and Quick Tillis is not going to be around long fighting that way.
We return here to Gleason's Gym in Brooklyn, New York. Brian Kenny, Burt Randolph, Sugar, and Teddy Atlas here as we get ready for a step up in class for Iron Mike Tyson. All right, James Quick Tillis. Teddy, real guy at this point? Evaluate James Quick Tillis.
The right guy. The right guy to take a development fight, to step up and still safe. Not a huge puncher, not a real busy guy. If you get weak, if you stumble a little bit, you're still going to be able to get yourself back together and not get hurt too bad, because he's not going to outwork, he's not going to out-hustle you, he's only going to fight in spots. Experienced, maybe you're going to have a hiccup during the fight, but when it's over with, you're going to be a little better. A little bit of a development fight, still 60-40 in your court.
And yet, the first fighter who has a name. I mean, he's not these who are theys.
And one other thing, he's durable. And it's important to finally get a deep breath in a fight, mentally and physically.
Up to now, it has not been a who's who of boxing, it's a who's this. James Quick Tillis has fought at this point for a portion against Mike Weaver of the heavyweight championship. So at least we have some name recognition of his opponent.
Yep, get a good chance to see what he's really made of, and also a good level of progression fight, as you point out, Teddy. All right, let's take a look right now. Round number 1, Mike Tyson, James Quick Tillis, May of 1986.
Here comes 19-year-old Mike Tyson as he emerges from his locker room and comes toward the ring. You will note one of the characteristics which sets Tyson apart. He wears no robe. He wears no socks with his boxing shoes. He says that makes him feel more like a warrior, more like a gladiator as he entered the ring. He'll be 20 years old on June 30, can eclipse Floyd Patterson as the youngest heavyweight champion of all time if he wins the title anytime before May 5, 1988. And there is already discussion behind the scenes in boxing of a possible match between Tyson and WBC heavyweight champ Trevor Berbick as early as December of this year. But first, he must get by this fight against James Quick Tillis. And we'll be back for round 1 right after this. The referee is Joe Cortez. There are 3 judges who will score the fight on the round system with supplemental point scoring in case of a draw. 3 knockdown rule is in effect. No standing 8 count. The mandatory 8 count is in effect. Tyson in the black trunks and James Quick Tillis in the white. Customarily, Mike Tyson does not feel his opponents out in round 1. He tries to take them out.
He tried to take Quick Tillis out with that first punch he threw, and Tillis showed why he may be a little bit different. He moved right out of the way of it, and Mike missed by quite a bit. The key to the fight will be Tyson cutting off the ring and pinning Tillis in corners and on the ropes like he did right there. Quick Tillis is 7 pounds lighter than when he fought Terrell Biggs. That would indicate, the look of him would indicate he's in much better condition. I think the postponement allowed him to get in better condition, will allow him to move more. The question is, how long can he move? His record is he's dangerous early, Jim. Can hurt you with either hand early in a fight, but has always faded and tired badly.
See Tillis delivering the left jab and following with the right. He is not running away from Tyson, and Tyson goes to work on the body. Some say that what sets Tyson apart is the intensity and the effect of his attack to the body.
It is amazing to see such a young fighter understand so well the importance of body punching. Generally, it takes a veteran to understand that by punching to the body, you can take all that movement away from James Tillis, and that's what Mike Tyson plans to do.
You saw Tyson with the left hook splitting Tillis's guard and getting the punch through moments ago as he had Tillis in the corner. Joe Cortez, the referee, the only one of the 3 judges in Las Vegas a few weeks ago who scored the Larry Holmes-Michael Spinks fight in favor of Holmes.
That was an excellent right uppercut by Quick Tillis, which is a punch that should be effective against someone who comes in, burrowing in like Tyson does. For some reason, Tillis landed. He was so shocked he grabbed. Quick Tillis cannot, in my opinion, win a decision in this fight, Jim. He has to try to take Tyson out while he's fresh.
You see that Tillis grabs Tyson behind the head when he ties a fighter up. He customarily does it by tying them up behind the head. That will not deter Tyson from flailing away at the body, as he did right there.
And Joe Cortez, the referee, quite properly did not break the fighters because Tyson's hands were not tied up. Again, the right uppercut just missed that time by Tillis.
Late in round 1, a round in which Tillis has not acquitted himself too badly, as he has managed to stay away from Tyson's thunderbolts, although he just took a right hand. We'll be back.
This is ESPN Classic's Mike Tyson Marathon. Stay tuned as Tyson terrorizes Trevor Berbick to win the WBC heavyweight title. And then Iron Mike hammers Larry Holmes and takes out the undefeated Michael Spinks.
We bring you back for round two, and you hear the bell. As you saw before we went away, Tyson did land one punch after the bell had sounded to end round one.
Most people in boxing, if they're looking for a way to beat Mike Tyson, believe it will be done by a fighter who is able to move and punch effectively on the move, as Henry Tillman did in winning 2 fights from Tyson in the Olympic trials as amateurs.
All right, bring out clean. Come on.
Tyson just landed 2 solid left hands.
The difference, obviously, is here Mike Tyson has 10 rounds to wear down his opponent. He had to go all out in the 3 rounds amateur limit.
Lost to Tillman in the Olympic trials. Right hand lands flush on the cheek of Quick Tillis, but that was an extended right hand. He was not in close enough to do maximum damage.
Yeah, but he's not letting go of Mike Tyson. He might be shaking his hand, which generally means that he was hurt by the punch, even though it was, as you say, extended. Simply a matter here of Tyson finding the range. He can't be too far outside, but he can't cut so close that he allows Tillis to grab him, as Tillis will always do when Mike lets him.
Tyson can be hit. He was openly disappointed with the number of times that Steve Zowski landed on him in his last fight.
Any custom auto-trained fighter prides himself on his defense. And Mike really was disappointed that Zowski hit him with some right hands, really silly right hands that he should not have been hit with. It was just a loss of concentration.
The right hand by Tillis was blocked there.
A jab by Mike Tyson, a rare punch for him in his first 19 fights. A punch that he is smart enough to know that he's going to need if he's going to move up to world-class competition. He's been using it more in training and says we'll see a lot more of it in this fight. He just tried it there until Tillis knocked down 2 of them. Good head movement by Tyson coming in.
For the moment, Tyson is not nearly as busy as he has been in some of his previous fights against much lesser opponents. No doubt a sign of the respect that he must have for a fighter of Tillis's experience.
There's the punch that, in my opinion, is going to win the fight for Tyson. It's that right hand to the body. He won't knock Tillis out with it, but he will wear him down and bring his hands down so he can land punches to the head.
He got him with the left. And you saw Tillis staggering backward momentarily. Not seriously hurt, but Tyson has begun to break through the guard around the face. And there's a right hand as Tyson continues to land and round 2 ends.
Okay.
Back in Glens Falls, New York for the beginning of round 3. More than 8,000 people here in the Glens Falls Civic Center. Almost all of them rooting for the fighter that Upper New York State thinks of as its own Mike Tyson.
Right now, all of the aggression is out of Mike Tyson. He is keeping his distance. He's trying to learn how to box with James Quick Tillis. It is not, or has not been to date, his fight. So if Quick Tillis has done nothing else, at the present time, he's taken Mike Tyson out of his game plan.
Tillis tying Tyson's left arm up there. Tillis's trainer and co-manager Bo Williford said that he had been working with him for the last 6 weeks on tying up Tyson's arms. At that time, Tyson got the left hand through again after ducking a Tillis punch.
Just one punch for Mike, and that's not typical. He has to put punches together when he gets inside. Keep busy. Outstrength Tillis on the inside and let his hands go.
He is being considerably more careful than in his previous 19 appearances.
Remember against Jesse Ferguson, that look at the hand speed by Tyson.
That's one of the things that's astonishing, to see a man of this size and this build with such quick hands. We'd like to alert our local stations along the line that we'll be taking a station break right here at the end of this round, round 3.
I was saying in the fight against Jesse Ferguson, Ferguson fought a negative fight, fought to survive for the most part. The punch that turned the fight around was a combination, actually, a right to the body and then doubling with it, coming right up the middle.
Let him go.
Looks to me like Tillis is open for an uppercut up the middle the same way.
Come on, get those arms out. Come on, work out of there.
This is an important learning experience for Mike Tyson. He's going to have to be able to handle a quick Tillis to get to the top of the heap, and he is right now. And Tillis is making the mistake of trying to trade with Mike Tyson. He should be moving off the ropes. Instead, he got into a little bit of macho there, and Quick Tillis is not going to be around long fighting that way. Again, he scores with the right uppercut. Does Quick Tillis.
Repeatedly, Tillis has scored with the right uppercut. But Tyson is beginning to wear down Tillis's defenses, particularly when he catches him against the ropes and then releases the hands. Round 3 coming to a close, and Mike Tyson warms to the task once again as the round comes to a close. Back with more after this word from our local stations. Beginning of round 4, Jim Lampley with Alex Wallow in Glens Falls, New York. If you are scoring in rounds, as they do here in New York State, I had the first round even and have given rounds 2 and 3 to Mike Tyson. Right hand lands on the point of the chin, but he didn't get all of it. And a good left hook by James Tillis.
And again, inexplicably, Quick Tillis grabs after he scores the best punch he scored in a couple of rounds. He should put punches together, punch in combination, and he might give Mike Tyson more trouble than he wants. He also can't lunge in with that left hook like that because he's going to get caught.
And having felt what Tillis has to offer in the way of the uppercut and that one left hook which scored, Tyson now appears to be a little less shy about stepping up inside. Tillis is landing punches.
He's landing hard punches, and interestingly, Mike Tyson is taking them. I mean, he doesn't want to get hit with them, but one of the questions about him, as it is with all developing fighters, is can he take a punch? Quick Tillis has had people like Carl Williams on the deck twice, Greg Page on the deck, Marvis Fraser hurt. He can punch when he's fresh like this. Switches left-handed. Tillis is a converted southpaw. Punches hardest with his left hook. Fought as an amateur. Fought as a southpaw as an amateur. Turned around in the middle of his amateur career.
Both of those left hooks miss slightly for Tyson. Look at how low he gets to duck under those punches.